Kevin Swanson and one of his co-hosts have something to say about, certain people violating God's laws and what should happen to them. And be prepared. It's pretty fucking mean. Here we go.
Just that there is a connection between sexualized public schools, sexualized governors, and sexualized state agencies. Sexualized public schools that violate God's law with high levels of flagrancy. And governors who are heavily sexualized, violating God's laws with the highest levels of flagrancy.
God's laws. I'm wondering, is that code for homosexuals? Is that what it is? That must be what he's talking about. And high schools are all about fucking, from my understanding. I didn't ever get any ass in high school because I was a fat, schlubby, flannel-wearing, Jinko-having, hair slicked back fucking weirdo that used to bring his Marilyn Manson autobiography to the class with me. And I'm giving you guys a little bit too much detail about how fucking weird it was to be me. And I was a juggalo in my senior year. Yeah, that's pussy magnet written all over it right there, guys.
And sexualized state agencies dragged into rape scandals, which, by the way, rape is also against God's law. And I guess it must be against state law. I'm not getting why, though.
There you go, people. There's Kevin Swanson on audio saying that he doesn't understand why rape is against the law at state levels. Because, yes, it's about gay people, guys. He says that's one of God's commandments, but people are going against that. Why are we not prosecuting that? But we're gonna prosecute people that rape. Kevin, there's a very simple fucking process here. It's called what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, consent. Adults can consent to have sex with each other. Male, male, female, female, and all points in between. It's up to them, as long as they consent to do so. Anybody under the age of 18 cannot consent. If you're being raped, that's non-consensual sex. Nope, that is illegal. So, whatever, dude.
Do you understand why? I'm not getting that. Why in the world is a sexual crime against the law?
Because I just said it's consent. Because you're fucking somebody, and it's not about the sex, it's about the power and everything. And how are you not getting this yourself, Kevin? You're essentially saying to everybody in the free world as they're hearing this that you don't know why rape is against the law. Because it's doing harm to somebody else. What? Aren't you a Christian? Don't you want to do less harm? Wait, never mind. A real Christian. That's what Kevin Swanson is. Here we go.
In the state of Washington, if the other forms of crimes are not against the law in the state of Washington. See, this is confusing to me. Well, today, entire states are defined by homosexuality, adultery, rape, and educating the kids in the sexual confusion of the day as early as kindergarten.
I've never heard of a sex ed class for kindergartners. If you're talking about how somebody can have two moms or two dads or something like that. Most people don't talk about, the ins and outs of how that works with parents, especially when it comes to what happens in the bedroom. I'm glad my kids have no idea what does or doesn't go on in my bedroom. For the most part, it's sleep. Snoring.
And by the way, trying to understand the problem in these state agencies when it comes to sexual issues is like trying to discern if there's a rape going on in a whorehouse.
Okay, there's more back to that consent thing there, sir. People that are in a whorehouse, if they're not being paid for their service or they tell you to stop and you don't, that's rape. But I can only think of one place in this country that actually has paid prostitution that's legal, and that's in Nevada. And that's on them if they want to sell their body for money, which I'm not against. I mean, by all means, it's your body. Do whatever the fuck you want with it. And they do not deserve to be raped. If someone calls out rape in a whorehouse, as you so said, I'm likely to believe that it happened because you have to believe the victim when they say these things. And the thing is, if you're going to be like, oh, come on, she's a whore. She was asking for it. Nope, you're already wrong there. And the other thing is that just because they might have been having sex with you to begin with, if you took it to a place they didn't want to go to and they said stop, and you didn't, you have raped them. Do you really want to go through all those fucking hoops there, Kevin? Do you really want to go down that one?
Are you with me here?
Yeah.
There's confusion here, friends. There is outrageous confusion. The whole system is wrapped up in moral chaos, and it's hardly worth talking about morals when the worst possible abominations are accepted in the state of Washington.
Because, you know, people having same-gender sex with each other, you know, that's such a terrible thing to possibly think about. It's people loving each other. Get the fuck over it, man. And if you're talking about other things, you know, like people having gender reassignment surgery, or I'm sorry, gender affirming surgeries and stuff like that, that's an abomination to your God, but to these people, that's what they need. And I see no problems with that. It's their body. Let people do with what they want with their own bodies. You are not the person that gets to say, that's God's body. You shouldn't be doing that. You're the same kind of person that if they wanted to show off a tattoo or something like that, they would be like, oh, you shouldn't get your body tattooed. Your body's a temple. How dare you do that kind of thing? We get that a lot here in Utah, by the way. But I know for a fact that this takes a very fucking hard right turn here in a second.
All right, and it's affecting the public schools, and it's time to get kids out of the public schools.
Where would you rather them go? Christian schools? Because Betsy DeVos is working on that, actually. Where else should they go?
We need to burn them down.
Holy shit! You just had his co-host say that they need to burn down public schools. I mean, they didn't specifically say what school they're going to burn down, but that's one of those weird legal arguments that you can get around. Anyway.
The kids out of the whorehouses.
Yeah.
Let's get if you transported parents from the 1950s into 2017, they would want to burn these schools down.
Yes, they.
Probably not. In the 1950s, I don't think arson was much of I don't think it was higher than it was now. I would have to look into that one, but why would they want to burn it down?
They would burn them down. They would tear the bricks out of the walls. They would use the bricks to stone the apostates.
Holy shit. Using the bricks torn down from school buildings to stone apostates? Was the 1950s like a resurgence of the beginning of the Anno Domini? Sorry, no, the current era where they still stoned people for being apostates. I mean, seriously, is that a world that you guys want to live in? That's fucking fascinating and disgusting at the same time that they think that that's a right and moral thing to do. God damn it, Kevin. Really, that's the kind of shit that you want to go down. That's the path that you want to go down. God damn it, man. You are a morally bereft person, and so is your host. Jesus.